Alright, hello, I'm LZ. I'm a Bristol-based event planner and DJ, and company owner. What do I think about the Bristol scene? I think that it's one of the richest places in perhaps the world to do with diversity of culture, diversity of music. I find that lots of places have their own almost unique identity in what their producers come out with, what they're known for, what the clubs book and play, whereas Bristol, it's just so much all the time. Looking into the history, there's a whole timeline of events which led us to Bristol being what it is. You start out 50s Windrush. I would then say the house parties kind of come next, and then you get the combination of the two where you kind of end up with sound system culture, which was directly caused by the Windrush and people coming over from the Caribbean countries, bringing their heritage and sound system culture from those countries here. Then you get the emergence of all these new genres from all of those things in 80s, 90s, get creation of trip hop, things like that from groups like Massive Attack. This city is really it's churned it all out really. It's within all the micro venues that everyone starts at and comes up at. They're the most affordable, they're the easiest to fill, and without them, we're just going to be left with the medium-sized 500 cap venues and the huge ones, 1,000 cap venues around that. And as a young promoter, as a first-time promoter, you can't start there. It's over before it started for you. So that's going to really fuck with new emerging talent, new emerging music, nights, and what people are subjected to is going to be more mainstream, which will have its effect, sadly. That loss of roots culture. And what I'm seeing is a disconnect being created between the attendees and people new to Bristol, where because there's no roots culture being shoved in their face, they have no idea about it. And that goes hand in hand with the watering down a bit. I think it is so much harder for someone to just start and get their first gig. There's so many cliques and groups and collectives that do not work with other people and do not branch out and always trying to push their own narrative, their own brand. It makes it really, no one's looking basically below them, everyone's looking above. But I just think if you have the ethos for it and the resilience and kind of the mindset, you definitely will get there. Paying artists is a big one. No one can afford to, especially right now. So people suffering, definitely the venues and event planners, but also a lot of the DJs. Starting out as a DJ, you don't get paid, and that's getting even harder and harder to turn around from. I still don't get paid for quite a lot of my gigs. Definitely being a woman has something to do with that. Lots of guys I know just started out with a rate, and that's crazy to me. But there is gaps. There are huge gaps. I've had moments where security have just refused that I'm a DJ, and I've had to get the owner of the actual venue that I know well to come out and tell him off. And there's lots of stuff like that. I've had people at my own events that heard that I organised it say that I didn't. They believed my colleague that I put the event on with that did less work into the event than I did, and he's a man. So there's no other reason in my head that could be from. There's loads of stuff like that, sometimes even around friends, they won't let me get on the decks. I've had guys turn around and just be like, sorry, we're having a boys mix for a minute. What's the point? It's music, it's mixing. It's very subconscious, I think, at this level of society, where we like to think we are equal and we're not, and we don't like to think about the fact that we're not, because then that requires work. And because of that, we all in the back of our heads are really misogynistic. I put myself down, don't put my foot forward or put my foot down in loads of situations, because I feel like it's not my place, I feel like it will be disregarded, I feel like my opinion is not as important. And I notice with a lot of my male friends, they don't have that line of thought, they just go straight to it. And there's actually loads of statistics in all working industries where women just do not put their foot down forward and say it how it is, because they are almost judged more for it. Whereas a guy, that's just them being business savvy. If a woman does it, she's being bitchy. I'd like to be paid for my time. and my effort. If they feel like it's not up to par, that's fair. Like, there's been many times I've come in and played somewhere and formed their crowd for them, and I'm not getting paid for that, and it's just, you know, and then their headliner, who they're paying like 100 quid for, will come in and clear the room, and I'm like, what are we paying for here? At that point, you are just simply paying for that name to be on your poster, which is kind of what the game is, and I'm not fond of it. My ideal outcome would be everyone goes to nights because they want to listen to the type of music being played, and people care about the person bringing them that music and that fun. That person gets paid and treated accordingly. But it's also up to how the audience treat these nights, because people just, you know, you're there for a good time, you're there to be with your mates and listen to the music. People forget to care about the DJ bringing them that. They forget to respect that person. Like, there's been so many times people are not respecting me as a DJ and making judgments, or like there'll be times when a guy will come up to me and say, "Oh, make sure you don't redline," when I'm not redlining, and that's just so condescending when they think that you can't use the equipment correctly and like give you advice. Or I had a guy recently covering the deck. Like, he was covering them and I kept asking him to move back, and then he would just try and flirt with me anytime I asked him to move back, and then I went and pushed him with my hand and he tried to hold it. Weird. It's like, where's the respect? I just say you love it, and every Friday, Saturday night you look for it, so just be there. Don't always go to Printworks and Lakota and the big things happening, because I promise you'll have a better time in a smaller venue, something cozy and intimate. Right now I want to see the council not spending money on things like making the Christmas market in town bigger onto Castle Park. I want to see them put that money into the grassroots venues, because ultimately the council's earning so much more money at the moment because Bristol's worth more. It's got more going on. It's the newest, hottest place to live in this country. They've got so much more money to play with, and it's not going on why people are moving. People are moving here because of the music scene. It doesn't matter if you go out and enjoy that or care about it. Because of the music scene, we have all different types of food and people, all different types of activities. All these venues, say like Jam Jar, they run yoga nights at midnight, they run live drawing classes. Because of the music scene being so diverse and promoting that, it's put into everything else in this city. We lose that everything else. We lose the new everything else. I just really want people to realise that they can do something about everything happening around them. It's simply a case of talking about it, even posting about it. Creating a piece of art and leaving it somewhere as a statement is huge. People forget that you can just do stuff like that. But also reaching out to adults that I know, like journalists and people a part of stuff like Plaster and Save Us and just all these organisations. You can get in contact with them and you can say, what can I do? You can share surveys around with your friends and send them to your local councillor. Like, these things you can actually do. I want to help people feel like they can and help them do it.